Guys, it's Gino coming at you with 4 fights that I'm looking at on Monday with very limited stuff, very limited numbers, but player fight film, and then also player stats and records and going through Tapology. That's what I use to put together these 4 fights. Before I get started, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Ben. He tailed me on a parlay this weekend. It was Sergey Spivak and Juliana Miller. Managed to hit, walked away with a $141 profit. Not a bad weekend for him. So, before I get going into the fights, if you have not done so, hit the channel with a subscribe right now. Stop what you're doing, hit the channel with a subscribe, and then like this video. And finally, leave me a comment, say anything. But maybe something positive, I'd appreciate that. But that gets the algorithm going and it helps the channel grow. Okay, so we're going to go right into it with main event. We have Dominic Cruz versus Marlon Vera. I think Marlon Vera wins. I think he was pretty efficient with his striking in the last fight. He landed 172 out of 283 strikes attempted against a good Font. Now, he also, it's interesting, Font got the takedowns, but Vera actually had the control time edge. It wasn't a lot, but he still got the control time. So, on the other side, you have Cruz. They have pretty similar experiences, except Vera has a little bit more. But Dominic Cruz, he's a decision machine, and to that note, he has a little bit of takedown potential, but not that much. And he's fighting a guy who has a 68% takedown defense in Marlon Vera. He's also been knocked out by Cejudo, which I can understand, but the Cody Garbrandt loss, that didn't age well. It was in 2016, granted. He's had a lot of time to get better, but it's just something to keep in the back of your mind. And his striking volume, it's just okay. It's nothing amazing. And I think if he wins, it'll be a decision, but it is a 5-round fight, so I like either guy to score well. I don't have DraftKings prices yet, so as of right now, what I'm saying is I'm going to go a lot more Vera than I am Cruz, but the fight will be all in for me. Main event, 5-round fight. Pretty common that the main event ends up in the optimal lineup. You have Bruno Silva versus Gerald Meerschaert. I like Bruno Silva. He is tough. I mean, he is really tough. I just watched his fight against Pereira. He took some freaking shots. Got some takedowns, but he took some shots in that fight. Went to decision and lost, but I think he showed how tough he really is. And he's fighting a guy in Meerschaert who I don't think Meerschaert's going to want to stand toe-to-toe with him. I'd be surprised if he does. I'd really appreciate it if he does, because I'm definitely betting Silva here, and I'm probably going to bet him to get a KO, TKO. But here's the thing. This is why I would say they're both guys you want to invest in on DraftKings, because Meerschaert is very good with the submission game. He's 4-3 over his last 7, and he has 3 submissions in a row in his last 3 wins. He can, if he gets down, even if you take him down, he can maneuver around and then land that submission. So he is dangerous down there. But he's fighting a guy, Silva, who's got an 18% takedown accuracy. That's not where he's going to go. Now, if Meerschaert tries to take him down, which he just does okay, Silva's got a 68% takedown defense, and he's strong. I think he can neutralize that, and I think he's smart enough to not get baited into going down on the ground with Meerschaert and then falling victim to a submission. But to that note, this is fighting. Anything can happen. I'm going to make sure I have a heavy amount of both guys, but my lean will be towards Silva. I love Blackshear. Okay, so Blackshear versus Salal. I think Salal's he's gotten more and more passive the further he's moved up in fights. He's done well, but he has recently lost 3 decision losses, and he's very hesitant in the fights. That when you're watching him, he's not very aggressive. Now, he had 6 takedowns versus a guy named Lingo, which was a little while back, and he has averages 2 in the 3 losses in a row. So, I mean, he does get some takedowns here and there, but he's just, I don't see him being somebody that is going to score well even if he wins. I see him extending the fight out, aggressive guy like Blackshear wearing him down, and then getting a decision, but without a whole bunch of volume and maybe some takedowns, but I don't see it scoring well. So to that note, I am going to be all over Blackshear. I think Blackshear wins this fight. I go back and watch his other fights. He has done well. He has continued to improve throughout his career. I watched him fight Anderson for a belt title on film, and he was very aggressive. He took it right to him and then submitted him at the end. So I really like Blackshear, and I like him to get a finish here. But here I think he's going to get the KO TKO. So with that said, Zalal is a fade candidate, and then Blackshear is a very high ownership play as of right now. Now this one I broke down earlier in the week, but I think it's another fantasy gold because you got Witt on one side who's probably going to lose. I was telling everybody I think the wind hit Witt on the way into the door, like somebody opened the door and the wind hit him, and I still think that's what happened. But anyway, no, we know Mr. Quinlan and his PEDs. But regardless of that, they are fighting this weekend. And Quinlan, I think, is good for a knockout. Witt's got a really bad chin. But, and this is the but, if Witt achieves his path to victory, which is taking him down, neutralizing that striking, getting him to the ground, he could get 5 to 6 takedowns here and score really well, especially at dog pricing. Now, this is all the pricing as of last week. This is all the numbers, but I just wanted everybody to see it because it probably will be pretty similar coming out again this week. I'm going to stick with Quinlan, and I like that round 1 prop, but I like Quinlan. I could see myself being a little more conservative and just saying he's going to get the KO TKO rather than betting around, but I don't think a round 1 TKO KO is the worst prop in the world for a guy like Quinlan. But I'm going to own both. I'm going to go all in on this fight. I don't know what my ownership's going to look like on them. That's really going to depend on ownership projections. But I'm going to be all in because I think this fight scores well. I think it goes to the optimal regardless of who wins. All right, guys. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate you hanging in there with me. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to this channel, like the video, and then leave a comment. Tell me who your favorite fight is early in the week. I'd love to hear it. Reach out to me on Twitter at TheRealGC9. I'm always engaged with people on there. If you message me, I'm going to message you back. I'm going to talk to you. If you have any questions, I'm an open book. I love to talk this stuff over. Hit me up anytime. Finally, if you want the tools I use to finalize my lineups, to talk to you guys about this besides UFC stats, besides watching film, is the DFS Army. We have a research station that literally tells you all the percentages of KOs, takedowns, everything you need to know about a fighter will be in that research station before the fight. And then if you don't like that, if you're scrambling, we also have the cheat sheet where you have Eric, you have Geek, you have Big Marley. Those guys are literally giving you picks to help you be in a better position, and they're even telling you where they're going to be at ownership-wise. So it's really helpful. If you're interested in that, you get a month for free. I'm going to have the link in the video, below in the video in the description, and then use my promo code to get 10% off. All right, guys. Hey, I appreciate it. Appreciate you hanging in there with me. We're growing every week, and I appreciate everyone's support and help along the way. All right. Have a good week.